Welcome back. It's your boy Fresh.
And I'm Mary, and we are a Co-ople of nerds. And today we're going to be reviewing a game, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, Tell Me the Best Fable of All. Similo Fables.
Alright, why don't you give them the details?
So Similo Fables was published by Horrible Games in 2019, so it's relatively new. It just came out last year. It's for 2+ players. I think they say like 2 to 8 players. It's for ages 7 and up, and it takes about 10 minutes to play. And we'll give credit to the artist Xavier Durin, who did the artwork on this, because really honestly that's about the extent of the design for the game. It's just the artwork.
And if she mispronounced that name, we apologize. We're from Indiana.
So, we'll talk first of all about how the game is played.
So it's basically a deduction game where one person is giving clues. And they have a grid of 12 characters. They know which character they're trying to get every other player on the table to guess. So it's a cooperative game, so you all win together or lose together, depending on whether or not you can get or guess the character. So each turn, the person giving clues is going to lay down a card. Now if they lay it down vertically, that means the character you're trying to guess is similar to this. If they lay it down horizontally, that means the character is dissimilar to this. And that can mean a variety of things. The clue giver cannot elaborate on that whatsoever.
Right.
So you could say, it being sideways for this Dorothy card could mean it's not part of the Wizard of Oz.
Or it's not a girl.
It's not a female. It's not a kid. Doesn't have red hair. Doesn't wear white shirt. Just anything that your imagination can stretch it into. The first round, the other players out of the 12 characters have to eliminate one. Second round, they have to eliminate 2, then 3, then 4, and then the final round there'll only be 2 cards left. They have to pick the last one to eliminate, leaving the one character left. The person giving the clues always has a hand of 5 cards. So each time they play a card, whether it's similar or dissimilar, they get to draw another one.
But they have to play a card from their hand, so they
Correct.
just get to pick from all the cards that are left
Right.
over.
Right. And that's pretty much how you play. It's a pocket game. This is the entire box. Smaller in your hand. Can fit easily in a pocket or purse. That's one nice thing about it is, you can take this to a restaurant and play before your appetizers come out, or in the movie theater before the movie starts.
It's really quick.
And we literally played this in our bed with the baby and a dog, and had more than enough room.
Yeah.
It was, it's super portable, which is nice. I think that's pretty much all there is. It's a simple game.
It's a very straightforward game.
It's designed to be simple. It's not designed to be complicated. And when we get into the report card, I do kind of want to point out that we're sort of grading it amongst other pocket games, as opposed to the giant epic dungeon crawlers like a Gloomhaven or something like that. I mean, you can't even compare those. I played a 6-hour Scythe game at Gen Con last year. I could not imagine playing 6 hours of Similo. I think you maybe run out of combinations at that point. I don't remember if it says how many cards.
And there are some expansions to this.
Well, it's not expansions. It's different
decks.
themes.
Yeah. And you said you can mix them, right?
Right. Yeah. So on their website they advertise Similo myths, so it's mythological creatures and beings, and then history, so people from history. They recommended doing like the grid. Let's say, for example, the Fables creatures, and then doing the clues with the history. I almost kind of wonder if you just shuffled everything together.
Yeah.
How crazy of a game that would be, trying to differentiate between.
Give it some flavor.
Yeah, differentiate between all the different
characters.
Yeah, fables and all different characters, both real and not real. That's kind of how I want to try it eventually. So I guess we'll probably just go straight into the report card. There's not a ton to talk about with that.
So what do you think about gameplay?
So gameplay, it's super, super fast, super easy.
Mm-hmm.
We probably played, half a dozen times?
Yeah.
I think we lost once.
Yeah.
Lost once, and was that on the final two?
No, I think it was about halfway through the game.
Okay. So I also think this would be a nice game to bring the kids in, especially our 10-year-old son. The characters are from books that are very, very old, but they've gotten the Disney treatment.
Right.
So,
yeah. So they're familiar characters.
Right. Yeah, most of them will be familiar to the average person. There are a couple that I don't know. Let's see. These two. It says it's from Pinocchio.
The fox and the cat.
It says on the side it's from Pinocchio, but
I don't
remember them. And I probably didn't read the book. I probably only watched the Disney movie, but I don't remember those guys.
A lot of these we've only ever seen the Disney movie.
Yeah. But you can get a general idea without them listing what movie or what book
That's
it's
helpful.
from is very helpful.
Yeah.
If you're not familiar with that particular story.
Yeah.
But I think it's nice for kids. I like the portability of it. I like the speed of it. Like I said, bring this to a restaurant and get a couple games in while you're waiting on your entree. That sounds like fun to me. Mm-hmm. So I think gameplay, I'm going to go an 8.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm probably a 7.5.
7.5?
I like the simplicity of it. I like the portability of it. I think that I think in some instances, even being a pocket game, I think in some instances it's a little too simple.
I can see that.
So sometimes you want just a little more to it. I guess unless you're really hoping for the most mindless game. But it is, there's not too much to it. It's pretty simple.
I kind of wonder if adding the myths deck or the history deck
mixing
would
them together.
add a little complexity to the game.
Yeah, and I think that would make it maybe a bit more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I give it the gameplay a 7.5.
Okay.
What do you think of story or theme?
There's no story, and the theme is just a collection of characters through fables, old stories throughout history. But I don't think the game was designed to have a story.
No.
So I guess I do like the theme, the fable theme,
Fables.
the myths, the history. I think those are cool. But with this one's pretty tough. But part of me wants to just say not applicable.
Yeah.
Because I really don't think it is in this particular case, but I guess there's enough theme there that you could grade that. So I guess, what's the difference between a fable and a myth? Age?
I'm actually not sure. I think I believe that didn't they use the myths more for like religious
Maybe.
practices?
I only saw the cover of the box. I haven't seen the actual game or the cards to it. And it was, I think it was Hercules and Zeus maybe on the cover or something.
Yeah.
One of those types of characters. So, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if they like branched into Egyptian mythology or anything like that. You'd think they'd have to
Instead
get
of keeping it just in Greek mythology.
35 characters in Greek mythology seems a bit.
There's quite a few.
But the average
have
person.
you seen Clash of the Titans?
Yes, I have seen Clash of the Titans. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's
but
a great movie.
Can you name 35 of them?
No.
Go ahead. Give me 35.
No.
Give me 30.
No, I can't.
Give me 25.
I'm not very good. I'm not very good at just remembering names in general.
That's true.
But I would say, if we went back through and watched the movie, we probably could name 20.
Yeah. Maybe.
Just from the movie.
Yeah.
Because there were quite a few. I mean, there was even all the gods that were up with Zeus.
Right. Yeah, but like I said, I
everything.
think they'll have, some Norse mythology, some Egyptian mythology.
Yeah.
Just like I imagine the history isn't all American history. I'm
Right,
sure it's world history. And that's probably gives you clues. You could say it's similar to this other Greek mythological figure. Similar to the way this works, where you can, if your character is Aladdin and you got the genie in hand,
Yeah.
it's similar to him. And,
Or they're related.
Or they're related.
Mm-hmm. I think that was kind of how we won the first game.
Yeah.
Immediately
The first
throw out
clue
Aladdin,
was-
then I know that it's the genie.
Yeah. So for theme though, I'm gonna go story slash theme. I'm gonna go with 5.
Yeah.
But it's not supposed to have that. So
Right.
that the grade sounds low, but
Right.
that's not where this game is getting its money.
And I give it a 4.5 for the same reason.
Okay.
I mean, I do feel somewhat of the theme there with Fables in it, and it's reminiscent, and I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You look at them, you look at the artist's rendition of all these characters and from the Fables, and you think of the Disney movies on it, obviously, but I like it. It takes me back a bit, but it's not meant to have a theme or a story to it.
Right. So components, rather than moving the camera, since this is just cards, we're just going to kind of show some to the camera. These are some of our favorites. Xavier Durin absolutely crushed this, in my opinion. These are just beautiful.
Yeah.
Obviously, they couldn't make it look too Disney-esque, or you got to pay the mouse.
Yeah.
But so they stayed away from that, but made it close enough that even though it's not the same artwork as the Disney movies, you can still tell who they are.
Yeah.
It's not familiar. Who is that? Well, who's this guy with a hook hand? So even if you struggle with language or reading, you're still going to be able to figure the vast majority of these out.
Mm-hmm.
The other cool thing that I was really happy about was the instructions. Rather than being a piece of paper, it's just more cards.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really neat, so that way you don't have a whole bunch of cards and then a booklet, try to cram it in there. You could get, a little deck box or something to even slim this thing down a little bit, get a little deck box and put these in there. I was like that they didn't overly sexualize the female characters. I know that's a pitfall that a lot of artists or fantasy artists fall into. They just, make everyone look extra voluptuous. And in this, I don't feel like they did that. They look like, characters that you wouldn't be embarrassed to show your grandmother or your daughter. They're just absolutely beautiful artwork.
Oh yeah. Very gorgeous.
So components, there's not much to it though. It's
Yeah.
35 cards and some extra cards that are instructions.
Mm-hmm.
But Xavier crushed the art. So I'm gonna go another 8. Just based purely on the artwork here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna go with a 9.
Okay.
Just because the artwork is just so good, and the artist was able to kind of create his own version of each of these characters and yet still make them familiar.
Mm-hmm.
So they're super cool looking, and I like the colors. And like I said, it's very reminiscent. You can still recognize the characters from the Disney movies.
Mm-hmm. So overall grade. Now again, we're comparing this to pocket games, so
Yeah.
we don't want to confuse anyone. What's your overall?
My overall grade's a 7.5.
7.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an 8, so we're very, very similar. So we got a category or a 3-category system: play, display, stay away. Play means that you're going to get this game out whenever the situation calls for it. Display means it's going to sit on your shelf more than hit this table, but still good. Stay away means just leave that at the store for someone else to pick up.
Yeah.
What do you got there?
I'm gonna go with play.
Play?
Yeah, I like this one. I like that it's a quick game. I like it's a good filler game. You can really kind of take it anywhere, kind of do anything with it. And so I'm going to want to play it more because I'm going to have more time for it.
Right. Yep, it's a play for me too. We have date night coming. Valentine's Day, got some reservations. I thought about just bringing this along just to break out while we're waiting on our entrees. I feel like our 10-year-old son would like this a lot. It's cooperative. He's not a competitive young man, so I think working together helps. I think it's great. I think it's going to hit the table more often than sit on your shelf.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No. I definitely like this game.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we got this one.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts. Pick it up if you like it. Let us know in the comments if you played it, or if you've played the Myths or the History one. I'm not entirely sure. I know the History one's out for sure. I'm not entirely sure if the Myths one is out. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Now, everybody.
Even you?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Terrible ADD.